can assure you I did not learn from the Greeks or the Romans, or nor that of the English, which are Americans also included. The eighth head of Revelations, the beast of Revelations, chapter 17, those waters, that eighth head that came out of the seventh head, which is really that of the eighth head. I already told you in one of my earlier texts, that is America's spot. More diverse than them all, like Daniel 12 verifies and Daniel 11 verifies. Those words of Revelations, that the eighth head of the beast of Revelations is a small prince which came out of the seventh head of the beast, and he was more diverse than all of his fathers before. There's no country ever was or ever is diverse as America is compared to the rest of Europe. So make it clear and get it in your head, and you will understand prophecy to see that the word of Adonai is true. You call him God, it's Adonai. Which ish ta ish, I am that I am. You understand those words? Ish ta ish. I'm Lee, I'm a teacher. Let's carry on.
Part 2.
Where I learned my wisdom
The
from
wind.
is by being inflicted. That's where I learned my wisdom from. Being inflicted by those who afflict me and afflicted my people of long ago and even to the day with their hatred.
Being
And this
afflicted.
is where Adonai states that his people and children are, and his sheep is amongst the afflicted. Am I not correct? If Adonai is with the afflicted, don't you think he knows that who the afflictor is? So why can't you? It's all in the parables and the revelations and the songs. If you are smart. I was there and still am their affliction, brought on me by them. They put upon me that they put upon me, that made me learn from the very word of Adonai, that hatred, racism, and slavery, put into captivity, and robbed and raped of my wages. Those afflictions have taught me that they love me not as a brother. The second most highest commandment, love thy neighbor and as thy brother as thyself. Isaiah chapter 90. Read for yourself the entire chapter. Forget the verses and don't be a one-verse Charlie. Take this quote. It's stated in the Bible of the Christians. You're healed. Do you think that's true? By stripes you're healed? Not by the stripes of the American flag for which it stands. Those are the ones causing the stripes. Ask a slave owner. They're still around, just wearing sheep's clothing, but wolves. Very well disguised, but can be recognized. All over the world, they're still here, more than what was before, because remember, they're worse than their fathers. This is why those being afflicted sing that old song of Mushi, the song of Moses, you call it. I am so glad that Jesus lifted me. I'm so glad that Jesus lifted me. Where was he lifting them from? From affliction. You understand what I'm saying? The only person can lift you from affliction and from the afflictor is the word of Adonai. This is in Isaiah chapter 90 and all those verses in those two remaining chapters of 91 and 92, or should I say 95, 94, 93, 91, 90. All right? The afflictor can't sing that song, people. He's too busy afflicting people that he hates. This is why he can't sing or learn the song that they sung in heaven. Hello? Or is it still hell no? You'll get it. something that will shake you. Notice these right here while I talk to you. These are 7 candlesticks sitting up on the golden altar, which represents the 7 spirits of Adonai. You call him God. Revelation chapter 2, verse 1, and what John saw in Revelation chapter 1. I would refer everyone, first of all, to read entirely, and you will find out what I've been trying to tell you, being that God is that of 7 spirits. When you read chapter 4, chapter 5, chapter 6, chapter 7 of Revelations, God explains his utterances, his breath, his voice, his strength in the lightning and the clouds, and his vials, which he pour out punishment, and all that you want to know about who you are dealing with when it says that ish ta ish. Read those chapters, they'll shake you up. Unravel them and see what those voices do and what those trumpets blow out. And compare them with Zechariah. And compare them with Ezekiel. Ezekiel saw exactly what Revelation describes itself as being in those 7 candlesticks. Those wheels that I told you about in my dreams, and that rod of iron, of power, rulership, that I described in my dreams, and Ezekiel describes, that ring going up and down on that inner wheel, the way I described it in my vision, but in a different vision, but coming out to mean the same. Did you know what Ezekiel really saw, people, when he was describing that vehicle, that people say it was a vehicle? I'm going to tell you something that will shake your mind and will open your eyes to how you're being misled. What Ezekiel really saw, it was the throne of God that Solomon had built. Now you read the description given of by the word of Adonai for Solomon to build the temple. It had to be perfectly built according to the word of Adonai himself to Solomon. You call him Solomon. It's Solomon. All right. Now, if you would compare the description of how the altar and the mercy seat is built, about the ox and the wings of an eagle and the face of a man, and the other, which represents the 4 winds. Read Ezekiel, the first 3 chapters, then read chapter of Revelations, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5, chapter 6, and chapter 7, and you will see that even Zechariah the prophet, and Daniel saw the exact same thing that Ezekiel saw, but they were a different vision, but meant the whole thing. And you know what that was, people? That was the mercy seat Ezekiel saw. But people say, oh, they saw these little green men or the beast, or this was a vehicle that came out of space. Hey, if Adonai is a spirit of the wind, which this is the title of my text today, the wind. You know not where it comes from, you know not where it goes, but yet still you feel it. That was told to Nicodemus on the porch of the synagogue, which was then of Satan, because the Jews were of the children of Satan at that time. They had forgotten about any God, and they didn't believe in the real Adonai at that time. But do you think he would need a craft to carry the wind when he is of the wind, of the elements? I don't think so. You better learn and read for yourself, little by little, over and over, those first 3 chapters of Ezekiel, and you will find out that this terrible cloud and this storm that came out of the north like a whirlwind, this was the mercy seat, people.
This ends the briefing of part 2, The Wind. I'm a teacher. This is a DVD, and these are excerpts taken from my DVD, which is 1.5 hours long. But this is for YouTube to show the critics you're crazy.